Yeah, absolutely. In the moment, you don't recognize it as manipulation. You don't recognize it as a form of mental abuse. And in fact, I didn't even recognize it as any of that, until, maybe about 10 years ago when I started to process everything and reflect on everything. The manipulative side, I was pretty much getting onto as soon as the doctor kind of let me know that, maybe I was in this kind of a situation. And as soon as I started paying attention, to the way that he would say things and the way that, certain things were done, certain situations worked out, I was constantly told how I, was crazy and led to believe that I was crazy and that my depression was so bad I would never be able to, function as an adult on my own and that I needed him in my life to do the adult things for me. But on the other end, I was the only one working, and so at the time I couldn't see how contradictory that was, but now I do, it's like, well, how are you so stupid to believe that you can't do anything for yourself? You need these people to do everything for you, but yet you're the only one that can seem to hold down a job, and so, but in that whole situation, you're conditioned, you're brainwashed into thinking, a certain way. And when they come at you with, this idea of, they're doing this out of love for you and concern for you, you really want to believe that, especially coming from where I came from and, having been adopted and dealing with the abandonment and neglect issues that I had. And I've got somebody who's looking out for me and protecting me is kind of what I felt like I was going through at the time. And he knew that and he knew how to manipulate that and he knew that was a weakness of mine. And he knew how to work that angle with me. And as soon as I started to bring some of this to light, that's when the angry, narcissistic side of him started to come out. I started questioning, a lot of the brainwashing that he was doing to me at the time. And it was more, how dare you question me? It is what I say. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm your brother. I love you, and then my mother, she was with us too, and she wasn't the manipulative one, but she very much enabled it when I tried to stand up for myself and, kick him out. She would start to cry. He's my son. You can't kick him out. And then I'd be drawn back into everything again. And so it was really difficult to figure it all out in the moment. But afterwards, that's why the reflection part is so important after you come out of a traumatic situation or an abusive situation of any kind. You have to reflect on it so that you can understand it and understand why, when, and where all of that happened so that you can not, you know, get in that position again.
Considering your upbringing and what you went through as the daughter in the family and with your family members, now that you've created your own family, how protective are you to ensure that your children's childhood isn't what you went through growing up?
Very protective, and I kind of giggle a little bit because sometimes I'm a little overprotective, and my husband has to, like, hey Amy, it's okay, calm down. We don't need to be that guarded with everything. And so sometimes I need to be reminded that maybe I'm a little too guarded with my family, and my children, and that I need to, let loose a little bit more when it comes to, ensuring that they never have to go through any kind of traumatic situations, which is what we're supposed to do as parents. But on the other end, they do have to go through, life experiences on their own. Otherwise, they're going to be overprotected and shielded and not know what to do when, they're an adult and life starts lifing like it does in your 20s, right? And so it's a delicate balance, it's a juggling act. And, sometimes you just have to pray about things and, see how much you're going to go ahead and put up with and how much, you're going to draw that line, that hard line. how much you're going to let them go ahead and experience, and, absolutely what you're going to, guard them from. And as a parent, you want to guard them from everything. But, as, kind of a reasonable adult, that that's not, a very reasonable thing to do, because you're not preparing them, the best that you can for what's going to come in life.